In this activity, we're going to make a body butter. So let's look now in our textbook on page 188. And when you're looking at all the carrier oils that we'll be adding to this particular recipe, there may be some that you may not have on hand. There's quite a few here: beeswax, cocoa butter, shea butter, avocado, and so on. So you may find that some of these ingredients are missing from your pantry, so you might want to substitute this recipe. But let's take a look now at some of the other supplies that we're going to need. Okay, so first of all, we want to make sure that we, in this particular recipe, we're going to be using a hot burner. You might use your stovetop, because we're going to need to boil water, because we're going to be putting our ingredients into a Pyrex dish and using it like a double boiler and just putting it down into the pan to heat up the ingredients. We don't want to overheat them. All right, so we have our mixing bowl again for our essential oils, our stir rod. I also have another bowl that I'm going to be using for the mixing the ingredients together when we put those together. We're going to be using some almond oil in this recipe and coconut oil, and we're going to have a little tub to put our body butter in. You can use the one that came in your supply kit, or you might find something else, maybe a tin or something like that to use. We have our funnel and pipettes ready to go. So let's look now. I'm going to be using bergamot as my top note, lavender for my middle note, and ylang ylang as my base note. And I'm going to be adding almond oil and coconut oil, as well as some cocoa butter. All right, so we need to use our bowl to blend our big ingredients, but we're going to use the small bowl now just to get our essentials. So let's start with our base note. I'm going to add 2 drops of ylang ylang, and 5 drops of lavender, 5. And then we're going to add our top note, bergamot, and we're going to put 5 drops in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That comes out really quick. So, all right, let's get our stir rod and mix that, and let's just check it. Make sure we like it. So we've got our water boiling here because we're going to need to melt our butter. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 ounce of shea butter, and now we're going to be adding in a 1/2 ounce of almond oil. So I'm going to need to use a measuring spoon now for this. And I'm going to add another 1/2 ounce of coconut. Okay. So now I want to melt this together. So I'm going to put it right down in here and let that set for a minute or 2 and just watch that. So it'll heat up the shea butter and the almond oil and coconut oil together, make it a liquid. Once we have the consistency that we're looking for, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put it in the freezer for a few minutes to make sure it just sort of solidifies a little better. Okay, well, it looks like it's all nice and melted. So let's go ahead and add our essential oils in. Okay, and I'm going to use a spoon to stir it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and pour it into our glass bowl, and I'm going to put it in the freezer for 5 or 10 minutes and see if I can get it to a nice buttery consistency. And then when we bring it back out, we'll whip it up and add it to our container for use.